Wall Street gets a boost from a surge in consumer confidence and home sales. The housing market surpasses expectations once again, continuing its strong pace in the 21st century. The CEO of Century 21 Real Estate joins us to discuss the outlook for housing. Is Steve Case having a change of heart? A new report indicates the former chairman of AOL, Time Warner, thinks Time Warner would be better off without AOL. Taking the battle against SARS to Wall Street. Companies searching for a cure to the virus are hoping they can also cure whatever ails their stock prices. A little-known chemicals and pharmaceuticals distributors capturing increasing attention on Wall Street. Take a look at this. Aceto, has grown earnings and sales due in part to a strong focus on the generic drug market. The stock is hovering at a 52-week high right now. For more on Aceto, we're joined by Leonard Schwartz. He's the company's chairman, president, and CEO. Leonard, good to see you. Thanks for being with us.
Very much pleased to be here. Thank you.
Before we get completely into your company, SARS may or may not have an impact on your company, not because you're working on a cure for it, but that you buy a lot of your materials and market in Asia, do you not?
Well, we buy. We don't sell in Asia.
Any issue with that right now? Is SARS
We've had
causing any
no
problems?
impact on our company. For the most part, the factories we buy products from are in rural areas, not in major metropolitan areas. Secondarily, the environment, the factory environment, is not conducive to SARS being propagated.
Yeah.
And lastly, our office in Shanghai is in an area that's been almost totally unaffected by SARS. Only 7 cases and no new infections for over a month. So it just hasn't affected us at all.
All right, let's take a look. Your stock's doing very well right now. Why is that? What's happening?
Well, it's a confluence of a couple of things, 3 things. In 1996, we established our operation in Shanghai. In 1997, we made a strategic shift to go into the generic pharmaceutical business, whereby before we hadn't been. Unfortunately, the lead time is 5 years because of patent expirations, regulatory affairs. And in 2001, we made a strategic acquisition of a company on an international scale, doing exactly what Aceto was doing domestically. We integrated all the acquisitions. The generic business really started to take off. And China became more increasingly important as a source for chemicals and pharmaceuticals. They all came together, and we're just 1 equals more than 3.
I want to talk to you a little bit more about the sourcing in China and doing business in China in a second, but you mentioned that you got into this generic business a little late. Let's have a look at the amount of business you're doing in it. It accounts for almost half of your business, and if you count the other pharmaceuticals that you do, it comes to more than half of your business.
That's correct. That's correct.
Let's have a look at, I think we can have a look at a chart which breaks things down. The big part of it is the pharmaceuticals, biochemicals, nutritionals, and then the pharmaceutical intermediates, about 10%. What is that? What are pharmaceutical intermediates?
Pharmaceutical intermediates are chemicals that are used to make bulk pharmaceuticals, very simply. They can be very basic or could be advanced intermediates.
Let's talk about chemicals and colorants. What is that business?
Chemicals and colorants is a chemical business that supplies chemicals to people that make colors, paint, plastic, rubber, textile, food and beverage, just a wide range of industrial chemicals.
Then you've got agrochemicals, which is things, herbicides, insecticides, fungicides, and institutional sanitary supplies. That's a small part of your business. Where's the fastest growth? The
fastest growth is in health science, which includes our pharmaceuticals, biochemicals, nutritionals, which includes the intermediates that you referenced before.
So it's kind of nice that 57% of your business is the part that's growing the fastest.
It's actually growing faster than that. It's more than 60% of our business now.
What about margins? Where are your best margins?
In that segment, absolutely. The generic margins are really our best.
All right, so you're trading at a 52-week high right now, or an all-time high. Does that build some expectations into what your company's supposed to be doing? Are you a little concerned about how biotech stocks and manufacturing stocks get priced in a way that you've now got to keep up with those expectations?
Okay. We say biotech. We're not yet in the biotech business. Okay. We supply some biological products for industry, but we're not in the biotech. Okay. We're in the chemicals business, basically going into the pharmaceutical area. So we're not priced as a biotech company at all.
All right. So you're okay with, in terms of sustainability, with
absolutely. We have
this price.
We have a pipeline of more than 50 different products in our generic bag of tricks worldwide, and we expect to launch at least 4 products a year. So we have for the next 5 years, our business is solid.
China is still a largely untapped resource for American businesses to be getting inexpensive production cost materials. The issue here is that China is becoming less and less inexpensive by the day as it enters the world market. Costs are going up.
That's not true in the chemicals business. China is just so much more cost-effective than any other chemical producing region in the world. It's unbelievable. It truly is.
So you think for a while it'll still be the best place?
Certainly within my career, and I have no intention to retire.
All right. What else can we see? You're saying that your chemical, your health sciences business is growing. What diminishes?
Nothing. Even our chemicals and colorants business is very healthy, not because the markets are strong, but because we're able to source products cheaper than anybody else. So we're picking up market share, even in a soft marketplace.
All right. Leonard, good to talk to you.
Thank you very much.
Leonard Schwartz is the chairman, president, and CEO of Aceto Corporation. Still to come on The Money, gang, thinking about buying a home away from home.